Hi everybody, welcome to the channel for a very important and fun theory crafting video. So a couple of days ago I put to you a little question, a little bit of a poll to wonder if a villain of these particular, ilk of villains were put into the game, including Doctor Doom, Dormammu, Apocalypse, Kang and Mephisto, which one would you like the most? And why? Also, people looking at my background, no, I haven't been robbed. No, I haven't paid the bills. No, I have paid the bills. I'm moving house soon. But the answer to this question is, the question of villain, though, is Doctor Doom. All of you were really in consensus about this, that you'd like to see Doctor Doom. And would be the most insane, it could be the most game-breaking. Also, this community is amazing. I love making videos in general about Marvel Rivals, and the community has been really, really nice. And as well, I love the dialogue on things, of going into great detail, especially when people are like, look, they want to see Doctor Doom, Ultron, Kang the Conqueror, Green Goblin, the Norman Osborn one of Green Goblin, Carnage, Kingpin. Oh, Kingpin would be great. Red Skull, of course, Mandarin, MODOK, Dormammu, loads and loads. Green Goblin again seems very popular. I definitely like the idea of MODOK, but it has to be done right. I even like what Foxus put here, where he says Doom, since the story of the game was cause of two Dooms fighting, and that's the, I want to say, it's a bit of a normal Doom that we know about, and it could be this God Emperor Doom. If you've watched or read the Secret Wars comic book, which I can't showcase because I've got everything in storage at the moment, but I love that novel. I just recently finished it. Now on screen right now, I'm just going to be showing some Marvel Games footage and as well some, imagery in general of some of these characters and talk a little bit about them, especially powers. Like Dormammu, for example. We'll start off with Dormammu. He's considered to be more powerful than Lucifer, Marduk, and Satanish. But I'll go with the fact that Mephisto, he's more powerful than that. If we had this character in game, similar to when I've played Marvel Revolution, so that Marvel Future Revolution, that game had that character but didn't have it from a playable aspect. I don't think there's been a good enough playable, except for Marvel Contest of Champions, which is another game that I play, where that is on the same level. There's so many bits of power to the character, I don't know how they'd scale it that well. In other games they've done a relatively okay job to scale it, but I don't think they've done a great job. This is where Marvel Rivals can go a bit further than other games to make it. You could even make it like a boss character, like a PvE, as opposed to a playable. I'd love to be a playable just because I was enthralled by the character, as well as what we saw in the Doctor Strange movie, the first one. If he's got stuff like sorcery, over the flames of Faltine, banishment, superhuman strength, which seems a bit weird, astral projection, which, yep, high-speed flight transformations, elemental control, summoning, time travel, invulnerability, size alteration, intangibility, immortality, and the list goes on. If you simply go to the Marvel database, you'll find plenty of information to go, yeah, he's gonna be pretty powerful. How they end up putting this character in, as I said, I don't know how it's going to be possible, especially because it is meant to be a mega powerful. The power scales and the grids are off the charts. So good luck with them doing that, but I think this should be higher up than people voted. Moving on to Apocalypse, I think this can be one of the best team up characters. If we're talking about creating horsemen, the same with other games, like Marvel Contest of Champions that I play, you could create your other teammates, depending if they're going to be mutants, which highly likely would be mutants, to make them horsemen of the apocalypse. By doing so, you can get so many fantastic bonuses. But at the same time, he could be a formidable tank. It makes it make more sense to me, have that kind of tanky, I think it's Vanguard sense, but it could be a hybrid. A lot of the time we've seen with Venom, he's very much a hybrid. He is on the front foot for DPS, but also he's on the front foot for taking damage, and can have some really cool pairs with Spider-Man and Peni Parker. But with this character, having things like self-resurrection, that could mean that he could take a lot of damage and then resurrect and just be that kind of just formidable tank right there. Similar to what we've seen with Venom recently, but also similar to what we've seen with Adam Warlock, where he's able to do that self-resurrection very close to the battlefield. But imagine an instant self-resurrection, or at least go into some sort of status, which we have seen if you watch the Apocalypse film, Age of Apocalypse. We've seen that in kind of an MCU kind of light, or on-screen kind of light. We've not really seen it much in-game. Self-atomic manipulation, biomorphing, regeneration, size altering. Imagine that. The character gets really big, which again, if you've seen the X-Men animated series, and I completely forgot about that, that's the first time I really resonated with the character and thought it was absolutely a badass enemy. That applications to this game are so high. We're looking at things like telekinesis, maybe some sort of stunning type effect, telepathy, cyberpathy. Like there's things that force fields, energy blast, energy absorption. Look, he could take a lot of damage, and I can imagine give out a lot. I'd be very excited if they brought this in as a playable villain, or even some kind of like PvE boss. But I mainly want to play as the character and be a really formidable tank. Conqueror now is, again, another one of these formidable villains that has survived, teleported, time traveled, and also has a powerful suit. There's so many powers to this character, but imagine some kind of weird time slip where in-game you could, like, I'm not saying go back in time, but imagine you could again go into like a stasis type pod type thing and come back and be at higher health. So say you're knocked down to a low percentage of health, then come back higher and able to just continue to fight because you technically time traveled. Or you could time travel, say, back to the spawn point. It kind of means like you don't get knocked out or you lower your KOs as a result. The character has battle armor. I'm not sure if this would make this character like a specialist, a support, probably less a support type character, but more like a damage DPS type character in a certain way. His battle armor being so good, I don't think really puts him, yes, could make him a tank, but I just don't think that it would go down that route. It would be, I can see him flying in the air, possibly, or going up in some kind of teleportation or teleporting around the battlefield. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Anti-gravity devices, video, communicator, not really kind of like important to this character, but having concussive bolts, having some sort of light sphere could be a nod to this. I don't know if they do anything like beams that you'd be able to fire, but it kind of makes sense. If you've seen the films, it could be like electric shocks being thrown. There could be some hover pad type stuff as in flying away. But look, this could be a really fun character. With the tech in for Loki, it means that I feel comfortable in saying that with chrono cloning, time travel, or variants of Kang, we could see a kind of like split off. You could go like, okay, here's Loki, like Loki, then you take a different version of yourself and you ping it over somewhere else. The same thing could be with Kang in order to kind of deceive the enemy. There could be ties into the clone, there could be not, but it could be really cool to see this character. Mephisto, like a lot of kind of mystical based characters, like in game we've got Scarlet Witch, we've got Hela, which is kind of like that. It's debatable whether it's close to like Enchantress on that kind of supernatural power mystical level. But Magik is the key. Mephisto can be incredibly powerful. Maybe it's the same, or as we said, Dormammu may be slightly more powerful than this character. But it could be something that will be just ridiculous. I don't know if I see this one coming in, but with invulnerability, immortality, regeneration, and magic in general, as well as dreamwalking, energy projection, which, let's face it, there's a lot of characters that we've mentioned in this video so far that can perform that and create that kind of Loki state of, hey, here's a clone of me, go and attack that, whilst you're going to attack them and they don't realize it. Hellfire generation, which could see a lot of, well, fiery damage, fire breath, higher regeneration, hellfire projection, fire immunity, that could be cool. We haven't really seen much on immunities that could come into the game, but it's definitely something that could be quite fun. Telepathy, telekinesis, matter manipulation, illusions, we've kind of touched upon that. Teleportation, time manipulation, time reversal. Again, that's kind of Kang levels of stuff. How they do that, I don't know, as you would need to make a character that is true to the comic books, true to all the new abilities the characters are getting over the years, and also deliver something that's going to be balanced. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these characters, some will be balanced, some will feel imbalanced and OP. So how do they do this? I'd love the character to come in, especially going to things like different forms, because there's necromancy. Imagine you can do that, like resurrect your fellow person as a Marvel zombie. Imagine that would be sick. But I don't think that there's a lot of stuff that they have to, I'd say, reduce or kind of take liberties with to create a really cool character coming in, but also really balanced. And I think that's the problem with Mephisto. Like Dormammu, they're both really amazing. I just don't think they'll give you everything. They'll give you some stuff, but not everything when it comes to his powers and abilities. The reason Doctor Doom, I feel, got so many votes and interest from people is that it is a character that is well renowned and known within the Marvel universe, and also a lot of people resonate because it is a cool character. Like, I'm personally wanting this character, and a lot of games that I've played, especially Marvel games, Doctor Doom has been a great character. All the other ones have either been boss characters or they've been, say, not done to the same kind of justice. Either way, mystical blasts, mystical force fields, invoke entities, and I think so many more things like summoning, teleportation, dimensional travel, mystical ensnaring, portals, telekinesis, psionics, mind transference, hypnotism, and so many things. There's tons of abilities this character has. It's just incredibly powerful, and the list goes on with so many different abilities this character has. I think it's down to, and as well as spell casting, we've got the mystical side of things. Look, he can do a lot. Probably a combination of Kang the Conqueror covered with a little bit of Dormammu and a little bit of Mephisto. Everything just brought together. I don't see this being anything other than a DPS character, similar on, not levels, but similar to Scarlet Witch. I always kind of go to myself, mystical levels, I see Scarlet Witch, and I see this character on the similar level. Especially, as we said, it's fan interest. Fans are interested. If fans tell NetEase what they want to see in game, granted, this will probably be like what we actually see, which would be great because a lot of people do like the character. How I see it, again, is just a little bit of Hela mixed with that Scarlet Witch, as I said. But I don't know, like, I'll put it down to the comment section, you know, have you all say, would you like to see these 5 villains that we talked about? Or do you want to see something else? And if you were to have Doctor Doom, like, what kind of abilities would you like to see? How would you like to see him play out? Could you describe it based on some of the heroes and villains already in game at the moment? And there we go. Hope you enjoyed this little video. It's a little theory video, and we'll be doing more of these, so check out the community tab where I'll be asking you some more questions. We'll be getting some feedback, and this is the thing, we're making a community channel here. Guides, leaks, information, news, everything we're going to cover on this channel, as well as other stuff. So yeah, thanks very much for watching this video. Check out the channel, subscribe if you haven't done already, and I'll see you soon.